So the myth of the adoptee dating white in to fit better, that is a total myth, correct?
You know, I have this. I don't see how you'd fit it better just because your partner is white, because you're still presenting Asian. This is something that, from my personal experience, is I lived with white racists. I'm not gonna do that again.
Yeah.
So,
that is hilarious.
I mean, why would I do that? I've seen it all. If I had absorbed any of that ongoing self-hate, the last thing I'm going to do is self-flagellate again, and you know what I mean? But what I will say is that it could be that, you know, and this is something that I do think begs significant research, because there is a lot of studies on interracial marriage, but not on how transracial adoptees end up choosing partners. And I think it's a significant topic.
What's your theory on it?
I believe that because we were raised white, our identity is white, so we are, and if we've never gotten out of that or been exposed to it, which many of us were, that is going to be one, what's available to us if that's where we are, and two, that's where we feel comfortable. I mean, I still walk by a mirror. I don't do this anymore, but it used to be that I'd walk by a mirror having a great time, and all of a sudden I stop. I say, oh crap, I'm Asian still. So, you know, and I don't do that anymore.
You wish there could be a pal swap.
Yes, and I don't do that anymore, but I don't.
Oh, how weird.
It's awful, and I know there are people who still go through that, and but you might not be this active.
Because that's funny, like I would sometimes go in a mirror wishing I would look more handsome, but it would always be like a handsome Asian guy. Like, I would be like, I don't want to look like Brad Pitt. Like I never thought. I'm not saying Brad Pitt's ugly or anything, but it's like it's weird for me to want to be another race. But that's like how messed up.
But when I see a white mother, then of course that's what you're. Again, the racial mirroring is extremely important.
I'm gonna read a quote from you because it's what you said. It's from you, of course. I argue that partner selection, specifically Asian female and white male, is less about self-hate and internalized racism and more about the deep family values instilled upon transracially adopted Asian adopted. I don't think you got a typo there.
Okay.
Your comments?
I still believe that. I still believe that people underestimate the power that families hold over you and family values hold over you. There are adoptees who've had very significant issues and they're very terrified to speak out because of them, and they don't even have to deal with race. So I think that it is a lot more complex than just wanting to be white or wanting to.
So you're saying like media influences is a smaller percentage than what people usually think.
No, I think it's huge.
It's huge.
I think it's a significant. You know, if you're Asian and you're raised in a white home.
And things you see on TV.
That's what you get. And it's not an excuse. You don't know what you don't know. And that's what you're comfortable with. When you get up and the face that comes to you to help you when you're sick is white, and you don't have any other racial mirrors, then it's not a self-hatred thing. It is what you are. And
it's what you're programmed.
yes, and I'm not saying we're powerless. You need to then become very aware, just as much as your parents need to become aware of the issues in race and how deeply rooted race is in this society.
What were your parents' attitude about interracial dating? Like, did they have any, or did they say like you have to date a white person?
Well, they wouldn't have been happy if I came home with a black guy. And I don't regret how my life turned out.
You said your family was racist, but you didn't really get details about it, and that was probably one of the first.
The N-word was dropped all the time. The categorizations of good blacks and bad blacks was also dropped a lot.
But why did they adopt you then if they didn't like people of color? Or did they see different races as different? scales.
They were seeing different races of different scales, but again, because of that model minority and that myth and the fact that, again, the marketing materials, as I said earlier, for Asian adoptees or Asian children, especially females, were that we were more assimilatable and we would blend in better than blacks, which is not right.
That's usually... Yeah, that is an excuse I heard a lot. I dated a half Asian girl, and she said I would never date a black guy and then she dropped that reason. Like it's not because I'm racist. Like I might have a kid, and then like it would increase the chances that a kid experiences racism. That's why I wouldn't date a black guy. That's her excuse. I think that's weird. I've heard it so many times now.
I don't like it at all. My dad would bring home a lot of very. I will never forget, he brought home this picture. He had a lot of old racist propaganda, and it was a picture of a bunch of, from far away, it looked like birds in a tree, and it was an old print, and it was actually black babies in a tree. And
my God.
Was that they were like crows or something? Yes. So this is
take that trouble to do that.
I don't know where he found it. It was this old print, probably in some old house somewhere he was cleaning out. And so...
But that's going to impact you because you're like, if you don't like these people, well, how do you feel about me?
And I really think that's, and I know that's what you're getting at is yes, it was. I'm not happy to admit that I did absorb some of that because I always knew it was wrong. Like I mean, don't get me wrong.
It's hard. There's the subconscious.
So I was like, oh, okay, well then yeah. But the other part of me is saying the part of me that I'm finally discovering is me. Was there saying that isn't right, they're wrong. When I would say to my father, hello, right here, he'd go, so,
oh wow.
And then my mom, and again, you know, people would come after me and say, oh, you hate your parents. I don't hate them. This is what happened. There's a difference between hating people and telling the truth of what happened. And, you know, my mom used to complain because there was an Indian food restaurant by her, that shared a wall with her business, and she complained so much to that Indian restaurant because of the smell, and she ended up getting food from there one time. I don't know if she ended up getting them shut down, but and she opened it up and she goes, "It looks like baby turds." Blah 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 blah. So they were not open-minded people. And then to go to your question of why, that's the $1 million question. I think that we were sold, and Asian adoptees were sold as love transcends everything. This is your baby. It doesn't matter. I think, you know...
Could be the stereotypical white savior thing.
I don't think there's an answer for every person, and I will not...
Well, how about your parents?
No, for them?
Yeah. Specifically them.
I still don't. I think that they were just people who wanted a child to love. I think that they I don't think they saw it. I don't think they saw race. I don't think they saw it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Did you ever were you attracted to other races, like besides white people?
There weren't any around.
They weren't around, but you said college. Like was there ever a time in your life, or was that just basically?
No, I wanted to, but there was that awful doubt in the back of my mind about what my parents think, which I now know as a parent, what a horrible thing to teach your child.
Teach your child, yeah. If you ever bring this so-and-so color to my house.
Right. Which this happens in same-race biological families. I mean, one of the books that I frequently cite a lot is Same Family, Different Colors, which Laurie T. Tharbs talks a lot about colorism within almost every racial group. So it's not like this is unique, but it's much more...
Well, it's more interesting because if it's the same race, you can say like, oh, we're just trying to preserve our race or whatever. I need to, but you're an adoptee. Like,
I know.
Well, we need to keep the white race. Like, okay, I can't make white people. Like,
right. So you're what you're doing is you're pointing out the flaw.
That is a very flaw. I mean, that's an obviously flawed logic. So I don't even understand why they were doing that. It's like,
you know, one of the things that is interesting is this exposure that we talk about, you know, dating and relationships. One thing, and something that helps with a comfort level of that is how exposed you are yourself to that. I wasn't. My mom would host, you know, Korean egg hunts every Easter. So we'd all get together with the other
Korean egg hunts?
where all the Korean adoptees that came off the flight together in JFK, I think it was, I want to say.
Guys were all living in the same neighborhood?
No, I don't know, they were like they would travel and we would do like Easter egg hunts. Then they would have the Korean Christmas parties. Yeah, like so. And again, it was just Korean adoptees with their families. And nowadays things are a lot different. I mean, you have different activities and stuff, but my biggest issue with that though is that again, if it's not in the home, it's still only surface level. And so, how this ties into dating relationships and stuff is that when I mentioned earlier when I tried to get into the the Korean American Association, the piece that's missing is that, you know, I might have a hanbok, I might do all that stuff, but the piece that's missing is I shared you should share this, I shared an image of the iceberg theory of culture and how there's very superficial, how culture is like an iceberg where above the water, the tip of the iceberg,
really on the nose.
I know, the tip of the iceberg are what I would consider the superficial things, you know, food, celebrations, you know, and that's what a lot of the culture camps do. Beneath that is another level, and it's, you know, more of the you know, things like the values of what, you know, attitudes toward marriage, gender, sexuality, death, all of the stuff that makes you that you don't realize as an Asian person raised in an Asian family. You absorb those whatever values that your culture brings. Even me going to a culture camp, I'm not going to get that. I never went to one, but
okay, this leads me to a really curious question. I know a lot of like male adoptees seek female adoptees because they're like, we'll find someone that relates to you. Well, obviously, like, has that ever occurred to you to find like a Korean adoptee male, like just be like, that guy would understand me? It's like, I know Asian guys won't, but that guy might.
It didn't. I ended up actually, before I met my husband, I was dating I was meeting a couple of guys. It was like online dating, like from Match.com. So, you know, one of them was a Korean adoptee.
That's an adventure.
I know. One of them was a Korean adoptee. And it didn't go anywhere. He was so nice, and but it didn't. I ended up obviously with my husband. So not because he's white, but because you know, just the way it went. So yes, the answer is yes. Later in life, after my parents were gone.
Yeah. Wow. Because if your parents were still here, it would have impacted you. Well, how come it didn't work out for you guys?
I don't know. Just we only went on like 1 or 2 dates. Yeah. So it was just connection. I mean, just like, you know, poor connections transcend all reasons.
Personality.
So, yeah.
It's not like you can't relate to me.
Oh no, we didn't even talk about that. I never talked about adoption this much until I got started on all of this. Okay. But it was the same.
Why is that?
It was on the same level of dirty word the way Korea was. I still don't like the word. It still turns my stomach. And I'm, you know, because I was, you know, so othered for it. I only wanted to be like everybody else, but my mom liked to always tell everybody that I was adopted, as if you couldn't tell. As just like any other child, you want to blend in, but I couldn't. So adoption was that word that
you try to hide from people,
and I couldn't.
It gives a different image of you,
and I never wanted to verbalize it. And so I'm getting better at it. It also has to do with that perpetual child. Adoption makes you sound like a kid forever, and you know.
You make it sound like homosexuality or something, like you're in a closet or something about being adopted.
You know, there are families who don't, in-race families who won't sometimes don't talk about it, who are not allowed to. So. For some people, it is a very shameful thing.
But now you're proud, like you're talking about it.
I wouldn't say I'm proud.
But you're open about it.
I am open about it. I'm open about it because that's why I wanted to do the autoethnography, because I want to use my life as a tool to examine from an academic and standpoint of on society and make commentary on society. Because it led me to meeting so many other people who are in the same boat.
People that you could help, actually.
Yeah, and people like you who want to learn.
Well, I just thought you had a really great angle. Like, I do Asian topics on my podcast. So I'm like, it didn't even occur to me to talk to an adoptee. Like, it never really occurred to me because this is like some long lost topic.
This is awesome, and you know what? I'm really excited that you even said that, because I was thinking about this with my husband the other day, and what you said that to me the other day, and I said, you know what, Louis, I've been calling you Louis, that writer guy, Louis made that comment, and I said, there is no checkbox on demographics that I'm Asian and adopted. You're Asian.
But they would assume things about you.
Yeah. And let me tell you, one thing I wanted to ask and was, because I live in Cherry Hill, it's just an extremely, diversely Asian population community. And a couple years ago, the Asian population grew faster than the overall town. So,
That's good for you.
Yeah, so we went there. But the reason I asked him, I said, I'm meeting so many Asians, and I'm so thrilled. But then they ask me, "Are you Korean? Are you this?"
Yeah.
And I say I'm Korean, and then
Asians have a way of staring at you in the supermarket.
And then the adoption has to come up, and I still, because of what you said about the subsect of Asians, I'm very uncomfortable again revealing that I'm adopted because. Will they pity me? Will they be curious? Will they be like you who wants to talk about it and learn more?
Sure, most are curious. We don't meet many adoptees. It's weird. We're like, how does it feel? How does it feel?